Welcome to the Canadian Rockies. In the last video we showed you the 4.5-day car journey from Ontario, but now it's time to jump into the sightseeing. We had one full week in the Rockies, splitting our time between both Alberta and British Columbia, and all of our days were spent hiking in the woods, visiting the lakes, and just enjoying being surrounded by nature. This was a family road trip with our trusty family dog Togo in tow, so we're going to be sharing with you our adventure in what may well be the most beautiful part of Canada. Alright guys, so today is our first full day here exploring Alberta. We arrived in Calgary late last night, so we didn't really do a whole lot or see much of the city, but we got up early today and we got our pass. We bought the Discovery Pass, which is going to give us access to a whole bunch of parks. It's good for a year as well, which is really cool. But yeah, our first stop today is Banff, so we drove into town, parked the car, and now we're walking along the Bow River Trail. So we are now crossing this bridge here. We met a local on the trail who suggested that once we cross the bridge, we turn left because apparently there's a really nice trail and he likes that area. So since we don't know any better, we're gonna follow his advice, turn left and see what nature holds. So we're now walking through the forest. Well, it's a little trail, you know, lined with trees. That looks like a forest to me, but it is super quiet and super peaceful here. We can just hear the river running to the left and then birds chirping all around us. This is nice. This is a great way to start our travels here in Alberta. Alright, so we are just starting the day. We've basically been walking through the park for maybe 20 minutes and we came across some benches right along the side of the river. Why are you whimpering? It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, Togi.
So yeah, we just wanted to take a minute and kind of talk about our first impressions of the place. Starting with my dad, who's always wanted to visit and come out to the Rockies.
Yeah, that's true. I always wanted to come. First impressions is wow. This place is hard to describe in words. This is nature at its best. Anything and everything you see here is extremely beautiful. The mountains, the river, the turquoise color of the waters, the trees. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, guys. You know, like, I mean, anyone that has the opportunity to come and visit this part of the world, do so, because I can guarantee you, you will not be disappointed one bit. It's a beautiful place. It's nature. And yeah, it's taken care of. Everything is pristine. It looks like, you know, nobody has ever been here. So I recommend it highly to visit.
The Bow River Trail is just a few steps down from downtown Banff, and it follows the riverside with lots of benches along the way so that you can stop and enjoy the scenery. We followed it up to the Bow Falls lookout point.
From there we walked over to the Banff Springs Hotel. This historic hotel opened up in 1888 and it's one of Canada's grand railway hotels built by the Canadian Pacific Railway. If it's luxury you're after, this chateauesque property fits the bill. We didn't stay here, but that didn't stop us from admiring the exterior. After that, we continued to Canmore. So it is now time for our second stop of the day and we've come over to Canmore. So basically once we finished hiking a little bit in Banff, we went to the supermarket, bought a quick lunch, you know, some bread, salami, cheese, we ate in the car, and then we drove to Canmore, which I would say is maybe like 15 minutes away, so it's super close by. And yeah, now we're just doing some more hiking, walking, I should call it walking, on this little boardwalk following the river. Super peaceful. The dog's loving it. He's already jumped in the river a couple of times to drink some water and cool down. So yeah, we're enjoying it. It's our first full day in Alberta, but it's great. It's great so far. This particular trail is called the Policeman's Creek Boardwalk Trail. It's 3.9 kilometers in length and it's a very light and easy walk.
You think he's gonna take a little swim, a little dip?
Go swim.
And the one who's been enjoying this the most has been the dog. And I feel so happy for the dog because it's been in the truck for like 4 straight days. And today it's done more walking than it has in any other day of its life. I feel as though its instincts are being awakened. Its wolf and German Shepherd like instincts are being awakened out here in the nature. And that brings us to day 2. Our first stop was Cascade Ponds, which I would describe as one of the hidden treasures of the Canadian Rockies. It had glassy emerald waters, a beautiful rocky backdrop, and not a soul in sight.
So it is day 2 here, continuing our road trip and exploring the Rockies. My sister got married around here in a little forest. So she's showing us around, kind of retracing her steps. But yeah, this place is beautiful. Like, I thought yesterday was beautiful, and now today it's like, oh wow, we haven't even seen the best stuff yet.
And we're the only people here
The
so
only
far.
ones here.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah, except for some ducks on the lake. So yeah, this is
those
awesome.
ducks, they had to go ruin it for us.
From there we drove over to Lake Minnewanka, which has more of a bluer hue in comparison to the other turquoise and emerald lakes in the Rockies. Lake Minnewanka is a glacial lake 21 kilometers in length, making it the second longest lake in the Rockies. It's a hub for water activity like boat cruises, kayaking, and canoeing, and well, it's beautiful. And that brings us to day 3. Alright guys, so another day of sightseeing here around BC and Alberta. Today we are driving through Kootenay Provincial Park, and honestly, if there's been like a theme or a word that we keep repeating over and over again, it's just wow, wow, wow the whole time. We've just stopped over at the Kootenay Viewpoint Lookout. So yeah, you can see like the whole valley, the mountains, forest. It's amazing. My parents are struggling with the dog. They forgot the dog's collar, so we've had to like make do with a leash and like wrap it around his body because all dogs must be on a leash here. So yeah. Togetti! Togetti, show off your little leash situation. So we are stopping at a place called the Paint Pots, and we're gonna be having some lunch here. We packed a picnic. We're also gonna let the dog walk around a bit, stretch his legs. He's a little squeaky at the moment. Whenever we arrive somewhere new, this one has to sniff it out and get used to the environment.
Food? You want food?
Isn't that right, Togetti? Let's give you a tour of the picnic. Bananas, Triscuits, cheese and salami, peppers, grapes,
Yeah.
peanuts, peppers,
And
crackers,
artichoke.
ooh, olives and artichoke. Yum yum.
It looks awesome.
It looks like bears tend to roam in this area. Maybe we'll see a bear if we get lucky, maybe not. So, now that we've had a quick picnic, we're gonna do some hiking.
Little walk in the woods, gotta
Hello
burn
there.
off that meat and cheese.
That was a light meal, I will say. There isn't much to burn off.
No, that's true. It was more of a snack. And it's better like that because if you had a great big lunch, then you wouldn't want to be doing all these outdoor activities. You'd want to be taking a siesta instead.
So we are hiking to the Paint Pots. And apparently these are like little lakes, little lagoons where the water has strange colors, I imagine because of the minerals, maybe sulfur.
Yeah, and I've noticed that there's a few different, I don't know if it's routes, but different varying lengths of this trail.
Yes.
And so we're not going to go that far in. We have a lot to do today, but if you want to like make this into a half or a full day, maybe not a full day, but a half day activity, you definitely can, because some of these trails go, I think, like 5, 6, 11 kilometers.
Yeah, you can hike a lot in here, but we want to see the paint pots. Apparently they're like yellow and orange and green, so let's see if we can find them.
To find the paint pots, we walked across the bridge and then turned left. This led us down a forest trail and eventually to an opening. The paint pots consist of 3 pools made up of cold mineral springs surrounded by earth predominantly composed of iron ore, which stains the ground an orangey red color. A nearby stream then flows into the 2 larger pools, creating a greenish color. Later that day we drove to Moraine Lake, which is another glacially fed lake. It has a brilliant blue-green color due to light refracting off of the rock sediments, and like most destinations in the Rockies, this one was another stunner. Even Togo couldn't resist the waters.
Okay, one more lake to visit.
Lake Moraine. This is one of the lakes we've just been dying to visit.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. It really lives up to its reputation. I mean, just check out those turquoise waters, guys.
The color is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. We were so lucky to get a parking spot.
Yeah.
Like, actually, every car in front of us had been turned away, and suddenly some spots opened up, and like we were honestly going to come tomorrow. We were able to go today.
So yeah, that's something worth mentioning. We're visiting here on a weekend and it's super busy. So it's better if you can come in the middle of the week or like early in the day or late in the day if you're here Saturday or Sunday.
Exactly. Or not during peak season, maybe later in the fall.
Update. It is time for our final lake of the day.
Yeah.
Tell us, where are we?
Lake Louise, probably the most famous of all. We
Famous.
were very lucky to get a parking spot right near the end of the parking lot. Like we had to wait till someone pulled out.
Yeah, so we're visiting this one at 4 p.m. So
Yeah.
people are slowly starting to leave, but there's still, you know, quite a few people snapping photos.
Yeah.
But yeah, this lake is probably the most famous in all of Alberta. It has beautiful kind of like turquoise, milky waters. Right now we're just waiting for the light to pop because the sun's hiding behind a cloud.
I think it actually just is right now.
So we better run and do that.
Yeah.
The views from the shore were nothing short of stunning. We had Victoria Glacier perfectly framed by mountains on either side, and then the brilliant glacial waters dotted with red canoes.
Since we spent part of our trip in the town of Invermere in BC, we also did a bit of hiking around East Kootenay. One trail we really enjoyed was the Old Coach Trail, which sits between Radium Hot Springs and Dry Gulch. This is a 9-kilometer trail that follows the Columbia River from a height offering views of the river and the wetlands below.
Oh, look at him getting all dirty. Togetti.
We finished off the hike by driving back into town and enjoying a break along the shores of Windermere Lake, where you guessed it, the dog enjoyed some more splashing around.
Next up, another cool stop on our road trip through the Rockies, the Continental Divide. So right now we have stopped off at the Continental Divide. You can see the sign kind of right behind me here. So in a second, we're going to explain to you what that's all about.
Get him up.
On camera? Up,
Whoa,
up, up.
Togo!
Togo.
Hey, hey.
Togo. No, he's distracted. Oh, he sees a dog. That's why.
It's another dog, that's why.
Okay, so another stop on this road trip. Right now we're standing at the Continental Divide. The dog's going with my sister. So yeah, right now we're standing at the Continental Divide. We've got this big sign right behind us. And basically this line right here divides 3 different things. So let's try to go through them. Number one.
Yeah, it divides the 2 provinces,
Yeah.
Alberta with British Columbia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It divides the 2 parks, Banff and the Kootenays.
Kootenay. Yeah.
And also divides the area where the rivers start flowing either towards the Pacific Ocean
Yeah.
or towards the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So-
pretty cool.
It's
And
fascinating
also,
stuff.
We are at 5,382 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And yeah, we're just surrounded by mountains, by forests, really scenic spot. So we're stopping for a few photos and to walk the dog again.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an area that is really attractive, and for the last hour or so we've been traveling through part of the forest that's been devastated by
The wildfires.
wildfires.
Yeah.
And it seems that they've been 3 different fires at different times, because some of the forest has already regenerated. There is another area where it's beginning to get there. You know, the new trees are about 1.5 meters height, and the third part is the newest burned. There is nothing there. Everything is charred to
Yeah.
burnt wood, and
Yeah, it's really sad to see that, isn't
it's
it?
really sad to see. But I guess it's part of nature. You know,
Part of nature, yeah.
The forest gets to a point that it chokes itself with so much growth that the trees are just no place to go. And this gives the chance to new
Regeneration.
regeneration, new growth, and a new forest is being born all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And with the fires, it's something that happens every single year here
Yeah.
in BC and Alberta. And they say that 73% of the fires are started by lightning.
Yeah.
And I guess the other percentage, either people smoking or campfires or stuff like that.
Carelessness.
Carelessness.
But
Yes.
yeah, it's an issue every year. We're here at the end of summer, start of fall. So a lot of the big fires have already gone out, but yeah,
Yeah.
you can see that
The temperatures,
scorched.
dropping, and also some rainfall coming soon will help put out the rest, hopefully.
Yeah, but we have seen a few smokes. Like
Yeah.
there's areas where it's still smoking in the mountains off in the distance. So hopefully that'll be over soon. Another day of sightseeing. Here we go.
Yeah, we're in Kananaskis country. This place is a little more remote, definitely a lot
Yeah.
more quieter. It's awesome. There aren't really any tourists here. at
We're the only
moment.
ones here. It's just us and the dog, basically.
And a big lake to explore. So it's exciting.
A warning. What does it say, Sam? Let's get a bit closer.
It says, you are entering a bear travel corridor. Prevent a surprise encounter by look and listen for bear signs, make noise, travel in groups, keep pets on a leash, and carry bear spray.
All right, well, we didn't do the bear spray,
No bear spray, so hopefully we don't have too close of an encounter.
And last but not least, our final destination in the Rockies was Kananaskis country. Our first stop was Lower Kananaskis Lake, which was a nice place to hike, picnic, and splash around with the dog. He didn't seem to mind the icy waters at all. And from there, we drove to Upper Kananaskis Lake, where we didn't stay quite as long because the weather started to turn, but the real highlight was finally spotting some wildlife just as we were leaving for the day.
And that's a wrap for our Rockies road trip. We still have lots left to see of our home country, but we can honestly say this is one of the most beautiful destinations in all of Canada. We hope you guys enjoyed following along and that you also got a few ideas of places to visit on your trip. Wishing you happy travels and see you next time.